Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Kira's back. Let's go. And not too soon either. Hope everyone is doing good. Hope everyone's doing good. I know I could be doing better myself, but you know what? We're here. We're queer. Let's get used to it, right? Today we're going to be playing Echo, a visual novel. It is going to be my first playthrough of this game, so if you can, please avoid any spoilers in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it because I don't know anything about this novel. So, with that being said, we still have like 2 minutes before 7, so I kind of want to go get some water because my sister's in this chat and she really loves to spam me with hydrates. So, in the meantime, we will let you guys listen to the relaxing music while we do this, and I will see you guys in about a minute. Let me just go get some water. Be right back. Water hath been acquired, and not too soon. Looks like we're right on the dot for 7, so let's just make sure that all my stuff is turned off. Alright. Hope you guys are ready. Hope everyone's ready. I'm a little scared just because I've heard some things about this game. I've heard it can be pretty scary. It's supposed to be a horror, which is nice. I've made the joke several times that this is Silent Hill Fairy Edition. So let's see what happens. And yeah, I kind of want to let the ad break play just because I don't want to start and then we get an ad. It's kind of the only thing I hate about having ads is like, they really do like to play all the time. So we'll let that play. Once it plays, we'll go ahead and start the game. But anyway, how's your guys' day been? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day. And if not, I hope this stream can make it just a little bit better, even if it's not by much. Also, new profile picture. I have a new Sona coming in. We are revamping Michael from the young, carefree to the old man who's still got a good heart. So Kira will be getting his updates, and I am so excited because I have gotten a lot of interaction in the RTF server for Remember the Flowers. Love the community. It's been an amazing community. Can't say enough about them. And I'm hoping that the same thing holds true for Echo. So, you know, let's just see where this takes us. Now the ad break is about to start, so it'll start in just a second, and then we can get going. In the meantime, I'm just checking, making sure that everyone knows if they want to watch, and if we're all set to go. I don't have any ads at the moment, because people really like to at me when I'm trying to do something. And I'm just like, man, you guys don't bug me. But when I'm about to do something, that's what everyone suddenly needs me. So, kind of how it works, right? But yeah, so far, how's your guys' day? Everyone doing okay? Everyone doing good? Is it starting? genuinely don't know when the ad is. So, okay. Well, I tried to give it a second. I guess we can start at 7:05 since it's 7:03 right now. Water. Sustenance left. But I hope everyone's been doing good. I know I've been on hiatus for a bit. It's just been a tough time. Honestly, it's been a little hard just to do basic things, so I'm glad that I'm finally back and we're doing this. I believe the next one after this would be the smoke room that I'm going to knock out, so that should be the next one. Yeah. Hope people are excited for this because I'm terrified. Also, I am not assigning character voices until I see said character. So, I do not have a huge range of voices. As we notice, my voice is very high-pitched, very effeminate. Should you think that I am not voicing a character, right? Just know, this is my take on it. I know nothing about this game, and I'm sorry if I ruin a character for you. I'll try my best not to, but you will still hear the emotion come off, I hope, when I do read the lines. There's the ad break. Oh, I knew it was coming. Alright, about 40 seconds left, so we'll just enjoy some peace and quiet time. Well, not really peace and quiet because I'm still talking, but we'll just enjoy the music. It is very relaxing after a hard day of work. People really were trying me today. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna make this the hardest day of work for you. We're gonna make you so tired that you don't want to stream. And I said, alright, bet, let's do it. Alrighty, it says my community's back. Are we here? Are we ready to go? Are we good to go? Are we set? Can I get someone to type in chat for me? Letting me know that we're good. Anyone at all. Just like to make sure that you guys are actually back. Sometimes this thing lies to me. It lies all the time. I see Jasmine, I see Gallows. Can one of you type in chat that you're back? I really appreciate it. Alright, you guys ready? Let's go. I knew you'd be back. You always come back, eventually. Why do you try to run away in the first place? Doesn't matter. Even though you're here, you're going to try and run again. Just stop. Because just like this town, you're only moving in circles. Saturday. Echo. Echo, echo, echo. Yeah, Mom, I brought it. No, I've got everything. No, TJ's with us. We picked him up yesterday. No, I did call you yesterday. There was no answer. Fine, yeah, I'll try more than once next time. Also, if you can point out who the main character is, I would literally just like keep his voice consistent. So Of course they're clean. Listen, I'm driving right now, so... Yeah, so I shouldn't be on the phone, should I? I'm gonna hang up. Okay, love you too. Bye. I sighed and finally hang up the phone, dropping it on my lap. TJ, next to me in the passenger seat, stretches back and scratches behind his ear. Oh, that's cute. It's been a while since I've seen your mom. How is she? I shrugged. Fine, I think. She wouldn't tell me if she wasn't anyway. TJ taps his foot against the dashboard before yawning. Wow, feels like we've been driving for days. Normally, TJ wasn't one to whine, but the long drive was obviously getting to him. It was getting to all of us, honestly. I looked over at him. We're almost there. Why don't you listen to some music or something? My phone's been dead for the past 2 hours. I didn't know it would take us 8 hours to get there. I sigh. Whether the dig was purposeful or not, I still feel a little embarrassed. I'll admit, I got us lost for a few hours. Route 93 is hard to find, even with GPS. It's no wonder that Echo is in the state it's in. You should have brought a book. Those don't run out of batteries. I look up in the rearview mirror and see Jenna holding up a hefty book titled Cognition. TJ sighs. All of my books are on my phone. Why don't you listen to the radio? TJ starts to reach for the dial. Don't bother. All we get out here are Higgs stations. I have some music on my phone, though. Do you have an aux cable, Chase? And this clunker? No. Like I said, we're almost there. Just having the three of us here is a little awkward. Unbalanced. I wonder if completing our little group will bring back the old chemistry. Thinking about seeing Carl, Flynn, and Leo again makes my heart skip a beat. Take exit 127 onto Flint Road. I jerk back to the present and press on the brakes and swerve onto the exit ramp. Whoa! Sorry. Chase, come on, pay attention. Jay adds a little giggle to lighten the chastisement, but my face gets hot anyway. Hey, me and Jenna went 3 hours out of our way to pick you up from CCU. You could have taken the bus. No, I'm grateful. I'd just rather not this be the place I die. I continue down Flint Road for about 15 minutes in silence while I avoid the ever-increasing number of potholes in the road. I think we're all a little nervous now as we get closer to our destination. And surprisingly, there's another car in sight. You guys excited? I look in the rearview mirror again to see that Jenna has put her book down, staring out the window. I actually haven't given it a whole lot of thought as to how I feel about this whole thing. No, I'm nervous. I don't know. It's been a while since we've all been together. Think things will be the same? I meant Echo. Are you excited to go back? Oh, I don't really know how to answer that. Is excited the right word? It sure as hell stressful. As long as we can go for a hike. I don't want to be sitting around in the motel all day. Well, it beats having a heat stroke in the desert. Are you seriously hiking the trail? Oh, come on. It'll be fun. At least I know Chase will come. TJ smiles at me, raising his brows. It's too hard to say no to such an eager face, at least right now. Yeah, of course. Anyway, it sounds like you've only got the boys on your mind, Chase. My mic is a tad low? Okay. How's that? Is that any better? Or is that better? There we go. How's that sound? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Better? No? Yes? No? A bit better? Let's see. How's this? Hello? Is that better? There's static? Oh, that could also be the sound of the game. How's this?
Perfect? Okay. Leo, maybe? Make a slight right onto Lake Emma Road. I ignore Jenna, but I need to be distracted with adjusting the GPS. A few more minutes of silence pass before Jenna speaks up again. So, this news thing you're making, what's it about exactly? I swerve a little to avoid another pothole. A news packet. If you remember, there was that one crazy thing that happened here in the early 1900s. I read a little bit about it and it's pretty fucked up. Come on, Chase. Language. Just thought I'd do a little more digging. Honestly, though, I just need to make something that looks good enough to pass with. Well, that sounds kind of fun. Are you gonna have enough time to hang out? I know Leo made some plans. This whole thing was Leo's idea, actually. When I told him that I'd be coming down to Echo for spring break, he suggested we all use it as an excuse to have a reunion. He says it hasn't been the same since the three of us left. Yeah, I should. I just need some B-roll shots of the old creepy locations. Shouldn't take too long. I catch a flash of blue and see the lake to our right. The conversation dies down a bit, and pretty soon, we're all lost in our own thoughts. Finally, we round a bend and I start to catch some glimpses of the town. The tall rusted signs for the gas station and motel loom over the rest of the old community. Lake Emma Road emerges right onto the main street where the motel is at. Soon enough, we're turning into the parking lot. There are only a few other cars in the parking lot. I park in the closest spot next to the door and switch off the ignition, relieved to be done with driving. I sit back for a moment, rubbing my eyes. Ugh, I hope you're grateful, TJ. I never want to drive that long again. Thanks, Chase. TJ hops out of the car, clearly happy to be out. Ugh. TJ puts his paw on his back and stretches out from toes to ear tufts, and I hear a few cracks. Gosh, it feels so good to be out of there. I smile as I follow him out and stretch as well, though less flamboyant. It's good to see TJ reverting back to his old cheerful self. Alright, I made reservations, so I'll check us in. You boys want to bring in our stuff? Sure. Me and TJ head around the trunk of the car, getting our bags and camera equipment, while Jenna heads inside. I'm pleasantly surprised. All a bit musty, the room is spacious and generally clean. A lot more than I was expecting from a town like Echo. Although I've lived in the town for most of my life, I've never actually been in the motel. Hey, this is nice. And 2 double beds? Yeah, though I get one of the nicer rooms since everything here... Oh, yeah, I thought I'd get one of the nicer rooms since everything here is dirt cheap. TJ sets his bag down on the bed. So I guess this will be me and Chase's bed. Jenna can have her own, obviously. That's nice of you, TJ. Anyway, here are your key cards. She hands us both our key cards, which I slip into my back pocket. So, when are we gonna eat? I'm starving. My stomach grumbles. We haven't eaten since breakfast, and it's late afternoon at this point. I pull out my phone, checking over the text with Leo. Leo said he's gonna get us some sandwiches from the diner. Did you tell... Yes, I told him to substitute the bread with lettuce for yours, TJ. Nice! Alright, well, I've texted everyone that we're here. Let's at least unpack. It's gonna get crowded and I don't want all our stuff in the way. Half an hour later, we've got all our stuff packed away in the motel drawers. Now I'm sitting on the bed toying with my camera equipment while TJ watches TV and Jenna organizes her schoolwork. You know you're on vacation, right? And didn't you already get into grad school? You should relax. That's exactly why I need to be keeping up. There's a knock at the door. Being the closest, I get up to answer it. I'll get it. I look through the peephole and excitedly see a beanie cap with a pair of some familiar horns poking through it. I grin as I unlock the door and swing it open. Carl! Chase! I slap paws with him and pull him into a hug, and immediately get a whiff of the pungent scent of pot. Oh, he's a pothead. Despite that, his embrace is warm and plush, and his belly squishes against my body like a pillow through his jacket. There's an underlying sturdiness, though, and I feel his big biceps bulge around my shoulders. Had he been working out? I put my paws on his shoulders and push him back, looking him over. He's changed a bit since I've last seen him. He's definitely bulkier, and the fur on his face a bit shaggier. His eyes are a little red, and his expression a little glazed, like he's daydreaming about some place far away from here. Still getting blazed, huh? You know it. His joking nature drops a bit as he gives me a genuine smile. It's good to see you again. I feel warm inside, and I smile back. You too. Is that Carl I hear? Carl and I step back in the room, the ram remaining slouched as we do. Hey, Jenna. Carl, how have you been? Not bad. Just living life like I'm gonna be. It sounded like he's starting to think of singing lyrics to a song, but he trails off as we all look at him expectingly. He just smiles back. Huh? Hey, is that TJ? Hi. Though he's smiling happily, TJ is outright crinkling his nose. Still up to your old habits, huh? Carl shrugs. I'm starting to remember that it's something he does a lot. It's his answer to almost everything. He gets quiet for a moment, then I clap my paws together. So, what have you been up to, Carl? You're not online that often. Carl shrugs. Oh, you know, just hanging out. Must be kinda boring, considering it's Echo. Not going outside helps. You've been able to find a job? I know they closed the old corner market you used to work at. Yeah, been kinda hard since pretty much everything's closing around here. On top of that, I still don't have a car that can get me to Peyton. Oh, that's right. You crashed the one your parents got you. TJ is grinning sympathetically, but Carl hunches further into himself, looking sulky. Man, don't kill my vibe. What about school? Been thinking about going back? Not really. Maybe. Carl starts to lose that faraway look as he narrows his eyes. You should. You went for what? A semester? That's not really enough time to tell if you're really cut out for college. Classes get easier to handle once you get used to it. Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly the schoolwork that was the problem. You could try smoking less weed. That might help. What? Was I set up for an intervention or something? Carl looks over at me as if asking for help. Hey, don't look at me. I had to deal with them for the past 10 hours. Yeah, guess I forgot how naggy they could be. That's because we care about you, Carl. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Chase has been missing you ever since you left school. Carl and I were in the same class throughout school. As a result, we entered college together. We even roomed together for that one semester, which was a lot of fun. Of course I'd missed him. Carl seemed pretty eager to get off the topic, though. Speaking of school, didn't you get accepted into Weston, Jenna? Yep, going into experimental psych. I start in the fall. That's pretty cool. Congrats. Carl turns back to me. And you're into journalism, right? He looks over the equipment, looking confused. What's all this? Oh, yeah. One of the reasons why I'm out here. I'm doing a new segment on Echo. Sounds like a feel-good movie of the year, Chase. That's what you get out of the feel-good town of the century, Carl. Yeah. Carl scrunches his muzzle before turning to TJ. And you're doing what again? Sports something? Bible Olympics? Athletic training, but yes, it's a Christian school. Carl gives a thumbs up. Super. So we gonna eat? I'm hungry as hell. Hell is a little extreme there, Carl. Not even you can be that hungry. Sure. Where's Leo? He's bringing the sandwiches, right? He actually just texted me that he was here. He was picking up Flynn. Oh, so we're all gonna be here, just like old times. TJ almost looks like that little kid Lynx again, his ears twitching around with excitement. Oh, there they are. I grip the bedspread and watch Carl move around the corner to open the door. I heard it open, followed by the distinctive deep brassy voice of Flynn. Hey, why are you getting the door, fatty? To get my sandwiches, dickface. I've got the munchies like a mother. Where are they? Leo has them. Here he is. Hey, they all in here? My heart skips a beat and my tail thumps on the bed as I hear Leo's high baritone. There's a bustling before they start coming around the corner, bringing me face to face with the rest of my childhood friends. Flynn comes in first, slinking in casually, his posture loose and relaxed, slouching. Unlike Carl, though, his slouch makes him look like he doesn't give a fuck, as opposed to just trying to make himself seem smaller. He wasn't a shy guy, as evidenced by his open shirt. And who you calling dickface? Oh my god. And who you calling dickface? Flynn knocks Carl on the head, which made a loud thud sound, but Carl grins throughout. Hey, Jenna, TJ, Chase. He nods to each of us in turn, rubbing his knuckles. Immediately following him, his arms wrapped by around two big brown paper bags is Leo. He smiles over the top of the bags, sweeping the room with his eyes along with his tall rectangular ears. He pauses on Jenna, then TJ, before finding me. His face immediately breaks into a full-on grin as he walks over to the bed I'm sitting on, setting down the bags. As he comes to a stop in front of me, I reach out my paw to slap him in the face, like I did with Carl. Instead, he grabs it to yank me right up into a tight bear hug, nearly squeezing the air out of me. Chase! Man, I miss you. Just like Carl, it seems like Leo's gotten bigger and stronger. He lifted me up without even trying. The tension I've been feeling in my chest melts away like an ice cube on an Echo sidewalk. Everything's fine. All of that worry about how he was going to react was for nothing. The hug is lasting kind of long, though. I can feel everyone looking at us. And just like that, he forgets we exist. Leo finally does pull back then, smacking me on the shoulder before turning to greet Jenna and TJ. I shakily sit back down, feeling a whole lot better now that introductions are out of the way. Fuck. Leave Carl in a room for 5 seconds and it smells like a goddamn skunk sauna. The weed is just oozing out of your pores at this point. Flynn theatrically plugs his nostrils as he pulls the window open a crack. Carl rolls his eyes, slouching further and jamming his paws in his pockets. Oh, shut up. I think everyone here agrees that my smell is a lot better than your shedding. Nothing like leaving a big pile of lizard dust on the couch for the next person. And by the way, dude, the skunk comment was specious. And that lizard comment wasn't. Flynn turns to me, fanning the air from outside with his hand. What's worse, Chase? Carl's smell or my dusting off? Ha! Dusting off. That's not a thing. Try saying white flakes that chip off of me with every step I take. Except when I scratch my ass, then it's like a fucking blizzard of dead skin. And some of it might land in your mouth. That's what you should call it. Hey, you. Furballs do it too. It's just less noticeable. Either way, it's hot in here. Aren't you cold-blooded? Someone turned down the goddamn thermostat. Somebody turn down your language. TJ says it like a cheerful kindergarten teacher, pep talking a student into using his words. They stare at each other for about 5 seconds. Flynn's expression like stone. TJ slowly loses his smile. Well, Jesus but fucking Christ. I'll be sure to watch that. Flynn. TJ actually looks pretty upset, but Flynn just reaches out and yanks him in a chokehold. The much shorter Lynx is easily dwarfed by the lizard. Oh, shut up, you priss. I'm just kidding. TJ half-heartedly fights the hold. I guess TJ thought he'd get some respect now that we're all adults. Hey, ow! You still said it. Normally, I might step in to help, but it's been a while since I've seen Flynn and TJ go at it. It's just too funny to stop. Look, no lightning. So much for your almighty God. Oof. TJ jabs his elbow back into Flynn's stomach, doubling the lizard over for a second. See? God works in mysterious ways. Ow! Flynn reaches up and grabs one of those tufts on TJ's ears and yanks it, earning a yell from the feline. Foul species features. Species features was something that we made up to make our tussles a little bit more fair. It involves any distinct physical differences between our species that might pose a disadvantage, like my tail, Jenner's ears, or TJ's ear tufts. Carl was especially keen on it. Being a ram, his horns were often used as leverage against him. TJ, come get your sandwich. TJ finally yanks himself out of Flynn's grasp, smoothing down his fur as he tries to look as dignified as possible. Well, I can see things haven't changed. With that, TJ walks over to the table to get his food. I can't help but laugh. I think TJ won that one by technicality. Or did he? He might have fouled too. Flynn's got a soft lizard belly. Flynn snorts, rubbing his stomach. Oh, don't even try to tell me about soft, asshole. It looks like you swallowed a beach ball. Speaking of which, food. We all pass the bags around to get our food. A chicken sandwich for Jenna and TJ, roast beef for me and Leo, and 3 large veggie burgers that almost take up their own bag for Carl. Flynn, as usual, isn't eating anything. I think it's a lizard thing. I keep my seat on the bed as I unwrap the foil around my sandwich. The smell wafts up from the beef, making my mouth water and bringing some memories up with it. We all spent many nights at that old diner. I can remember the night that me and Carl graduated. Leo took us all from Peyton High to the diner, skipping out on the all-night graduation party for sandwiches and milkshakes. I take a huge bite and a yellow bell pepper slips out from the other end, landing back in the foil. Whoa! Slow down. You're gonna choke. Suddenly, I'm almost falling over the side as something heavy plants itself next to me on the bed. I quickly grab a napkin and bring it to my muzzle, wiping away the grease. Hey, Leo. Leo chuckles at my embarrassment as he unwraps his own sandwich. Sorry if the bread's a little soggy. Garbo over here took his sweet time getting in the car. Oh, Garbo. Hey, working in town hall is serious business. I don't have a family business I can just waltz out of like you. Hey, Flynn. I'll bet you that I can eat this whole burger in 1 minute. Is that a fucking joke? Of course you can. Yeah, but what about 2 burgers? Don't choke, Carl. I decided to keep the conversation on Leo's job since that's the whole reason why he's still here. Is business still pretty good? Yes. Peyton's getting bigger, so is the number of customers. I guess it's a good thing that your dad moved it out of Echo, huh? Oh, for sure. This place is turning into a ghost town. It probably will in another decade or 2. By some standards, it already is. I take another bite of my sandwich, biting right into another bell pepper. I've forgotten how good the diner food is. I notice TJ sitting next to Jenna at the table, picking unhappily at his lettuce-wrapped chicken. Jenna seems to be as well. She leans towards him. What's wrong, TJ? It's just... Never mind. It doesn't matter. Are you sure? It's just the mayo. I forgot they put it on everything here. Jenna lifts up the bun on her sandwich, inspecting its contents. None of the mayo really got on my chicken. Here. No, you don't have to. Jenna picks up TJ's sandwiches and swaps out the grilled chicken. She rips off the layer of mayo-tainted lettuce from his lettuce bun before swapping her chicken in. There, how's that? Thanks. Suddenly that TJ looks up and sees Leoni staring at him. I see his ears flatten in embarrassment. What? Nothing, TJ. Nothing. So, are your parents letting you live in the house here in Echo? Yeah, we actually tried to sell last year, but of course no one bought it. I think 2 people came to look at it, but took off once they saw the town. Anyway, my parents are living in Peyton in a house twice as big as the old one. Well, it must be pretty cool living in your own house. My parents aren't constantly breathing down my neck, so that's, nice. Neil already finished his first sandwich, and now he's unwrapping the second. He sure could eat a lot. How many people are still here, anyway? In the town, I mean. Leo takes another bite, and I hear the crunch of peppers through his muzzle. He chews thoughtfully for a moment before swallowing. Not too sure. Of course, I know most everyone here, but most don't actually live here anymore. Most everyone's turned their old house into a sort of vacation home now. Really? Why? I can't imagine anyone coming here for vacation. Unless your hobbies are meth or dying of heat stroke. Well, they've all got their old houses here, and it's cheap to build. And the town is actually trying to turn that old lake into a recreational thing. Lake Emma? Yeah, they're putting in docks and stuff. Huh. Lake Emma is the old reservoir just a few minutes outside of town. As kids, we used to play there all the time. It was genuinely an ugly place. Dead fish on the banks, a terrible smell, mosquitoes everywhere. Then again, it could have changed since then. I haven't been there in 12 years now. None of us have. Thinking about the lake is making my stomach tighten again, forcing away my appetite in the process. It's been a long day at this point. It's been so long at this point. I need to learn to get over things. Actually, that reminds me. The others are pretty deep in their own conversations, but I lower my voice anyway, leaning into Leo. Hey, Leo. Leo turns to me. He had been in the middle of a massive bite, and now he has a bell pepper hanging out of his muzzle. That throws off my train of thought for a second. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to get some shots of the lake for my project. Leo ducks his head to pull the pepper out from his muzzle, only to shove it back in a second later. He chews it for a while, but his ears are still tipped towards me, so I go on. It's kind of important to Echo's history. Anyway, you told me that on Monday everyone's free during lunch. I can tell by the set of Leo's ears he knows where I'm going, and he's not too into the idea. I quickly go on. Of course, we don't have to. It's been a long time. If the town is making it look better, it could be fun. Listen, Chase. I feel my face burn a little under the fur. Sorry, it was a dumb idea. No, Chase. If it were up to me, I'd definitely do it. It's just... Leo looks towards Flynn, and I do as well, finding him bantering with Carl. It doesn't matter how fast you fucking eat. I'm not gonna be impressed. He's got that classic Flynn look on his face. He's brushing his lips together, trying not to smile. What if I ate all 3? You've already eaten most of the first one, so that's not gonna happen now, is it? I look down at my sandwich. I suddenly feel really guilty. Here I am, after 3 years, just assuming that I know how everyone feels. Now I'm kind of feeling like an imposter. Leo notices, like he always did, and nudges me with his shoulder. Hey, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. Suddenly, Leo's ears perk up, and I know he suddenly had an idea. His ears made him easily readable, just as reading people comes easily to him. It made it all the more impressive that I was able to. Oh, it made it all the more impressive that he was able to tell what most of us were thinking, considering my short, stubby ears, or Flynn's lack thereof. Listen, there's a cool spot by the river that's actually pretty close to the lake. We could have lunch and you could walk over and get your shots. The idea makes me feel a bit better. Alright, that could be fun. Also, the motel doesn't have a pool, so it'll be really nice to swim in something. Hi, Fang! Thank you for the follow. Otters and their waters. Anyway, I'll have to ask Flynn, but I think he'll be okay with it. What would really impress me is if you don't eat the rest. You're a funny guy, Flynn. Carl goes right back to shoving the next burger into his mouth as Flynn looks on in mild disgust. He suddenly notices us watching him and gives us an odd look, but that slowly morphs into a smirk as he focuses on Leo. You're looking pretty happy there, Leo. Not like you've been for the past 3 years. I furrow my brow in confusion and look up at Leo. I see him shift, and he's giving Flynn a look that I don't quite understand. Well, of course I'm happy to see us all back together again. I look from Leo to Flynn, and it's pretty easy to imagine the bolt of electricity between them. You should have seen him, Chase. He'd go days without smiling. Agreed. Leo's been kind of a dick ever since you guys left. Isn't Jenna a counselor? Hey, you should have a session with Leo. I'm still an undergrad. I'm not going into counseling anyway. That would just make me sad. TJ is busy trying to hold his sandwich together and eat it at the same time, not very successfully, but he looks up as well. Leo, depressed? It's hard to imagine you not smiling. You seemed fine online. Has something been going on, Leo? For the first time since he's... Okay, I'm kinda simping for Leo just a tad. Just saying. For the first time since he's arrived, Leo looks truly uncomfortable. You don't see him like that very often. Lynn, on the other hand, has his try not to smirk face on. What? Leo pauses, pinned down by everyone's eyes in the room. Then he takes a frustrated breath. Can't people be sad sometimes? Yes. Things have been harder, but I'm fine. I think it's pretty clear that Flynn, Leo flicks his long muzzle at the lizard, is just trying to get some reactions. Sure, I'm just saying you're back to your old self. But seriously, it's great. Leo makes a snorting sound. I'm about to ask Leo what's so stressful when he lifts his paw up to take a bite of his almost finished sandwich. I go quiet as I look at his paw. A silver anchor tied around the wrist with leather. The words Otter etched into the shank of the anchor, and the name Chase engraved in the... Oh no! Why was he still... Chase! I jump as TJ's voice breaks through my trance, bouncing on the bed once I come down. Leo looks at me as the bed wobbles, an eyebrow raised. You can have Flynn, I will have Leo. TJ puts a paw to his muzzle. Oops, sorry. You were just kind of staring off into space. Yeah, just thinking about stuff. What's up? We were just talking about the last game. Didn't you tell me you saw that movie on the drive here? I really don't get you right now, TJ. The last game was the worst Lions Brigade movie. You're just mad because they don't follow the comics. Yeah, Carl, as a movie, it was just better. I'm sure the comics are great too, though. Nah, the comics are shit. Carl has tried showing them to me once. Ugh. See, this is the problem. They never follow the source material and no one cares because they have no respect for the originals, man. You're way too picky, Carl. The last game was a great movie. Not you too, Leo. I don't know. I think Lions Grade was always a bit too violent for me. What with all the shooting and punching. I've always liked the Trinity Weasel. She's the thinking man's superheroine. Carl waves his paw dismissively. The Trinity comics have always been pretty lame. They jerk off fodder for they're jerk off fodder for lonely nerds, and so's the movie. You mean like yourself? Hey. Hold up. We're talking about Trinity now? Julia Blasco. She's hella fine. Never seen an ass like hers on a weasel before. That's because it's fake. No, I just like the story. It's really kind of deep if you think about it. It was hard to think about when half the shots are slow-mo and she's doing all these flips and backbends and shit. I didn't think that was your sort of thing anyway, Flynn. Flynn doesn't have the time to retort before Jenna shifts her attention, seemingly coming to DJ's defense. Come on, Trinity does have more story going on than your average superhero movie. I think it's great that you like her character overall. The meatheads. Yeah, they're just stuck in all the boob shots to reel... Oh, but yeah, they just stuck in all the boob shots to reel in the dummies. Of course it's easy for someone like you to say that. Besides, I see what's going on here. Maybe you should watch Lucha Lobo, TJ. He's shirtless the whole time. TJ's ears go flat. Tuff's pointing at the ground. I'd better stop with all this saucy talk. The only way this would get more awkward is if you got sprung. We all groan in unison, but TJ shoots right back. And knowing you, that's exactly what you want to happen, isn't it, Flynn? That gets us a few surprised chuckles. Damn, TJ. Where'd that come from? It isn't that it's a particularly good joke, it's that it came from TJ that makes it so funny. I don't think I've ever heard him talk like that. Even Flynn can't keep from grinning for a little bit. We talk late into the afternoon. At this point, all of my worries have disappeared, leaving a happy, warm feeling in its place. It seems silly that I'd be so nervous earlier. In fact, I'm starting to look forward to the rest of the week. Alright. Leo steps forward, indicating that we should all shut up. Now, we all need to remember that Chase is here to do a school project, so that comes first. But I did make a few other plans for things that we can do in his off time. I'm pretty sure all of us know that we're going to Southwest Adventure tomorrow, so I'll pick these two up. He jerks his head towards Flynn and Carl. And swing by the motel to get you guys at 9, alright? Sounds good! Then I was thinking about doing some stuff in Peyton towards the end of the week, but we'll make those plans later. In between those times, we should find time to hang out as well. We'll make the most of it. Leo looks about done, but suddenly snaps his fingers as if remembering something. Oh, yeah. Chase, I saw you had a camera. Think you could get a pic of us? It'd be nice for all of us to have something that isn't camera phone quality. Oh, sure. I was messing with the self-timer earlier. Should be able to get it to work. After a few minutes of me adjusting the tripod and Leo adjusting everyone at the end of one of the beds, we managed to get into the position. Alright, here goes. I set the timer and walk fast to the spot Leo saved for me. Aww, this is really adorable. Don't make me cry already, game. It's barely the first episode. For the next 2 hours, we watch a movie on TV, not really paying attention, mostly catching up with each other on how we've been. It's good to be back. It feels like we're all just picking up where we left off 3 years ago. It's really nice. Finally, at about 10. Oh, time for a hydrate. I never made it past like the first 2 lines, so we're gonna just save over that. Finally, at about 10, Leo, Carl, and Flynn head out. I spend the next 20 minutes tinkering with the equipment, making sure it's all in order for shooting the next day. Once TJ finishes getting ready for bed and the bathroom, I do as well before getting into bed, head to toe with TJ. There's a soft glow in the corner as Jenna sits at the table reading something. I lay in the bed staring at the ceiling, waiting for her to go to sleep. If Leo has a house, why didn't they just stay at Leo's place? There's a chain attached to my ankle as I walk away from the lake, my legs and feet caked in mud. I look back, seeing the chain snaking back around the rocks and reeds before disappearing into the water. Looking ahead again, I see Leo. He's smiling, waving at me. I walk towards him, and the chain stays slack, pulling easily out of the water. There's an anchor in the lake, I say. I stare at him, but he doesn't say anything, and just keeps smiling. I crouch on the rocks, wrapping the chain around my wrist a few times. Leo kneels next to me, rubbing my back and sticking out his arm to compare our bracelets, saying that everyone gets one. He seems happy, but now I'm stuck here. I can't even stand up to walk. Oh, that's an eerie dream. Sunday. Peyton is about a bit of a distance away. To get there, you have to get on Route 93, which Flynn tells me isn't even called that anymore. Hello? That would make sense considering how impossible it was how it was impossible to find on the GPS. Anyway, to get to the city, you have to merge from the remnants of 93 onto I-40, which runs straight through the city of Peyton. About 15 minutes from Peyton, we pull over at a rest stop, which sits at a higher elevation than Echo. If you're looking in the right direction, it gives you a great view of the town. I stand outside the old, run-down restroom, a pall over my eyes as I stare out over the desert. A distant, hazy view of a group of small buildings huddled together signal where the town is. From this vicarious distance, it looks small and harmless. Hard to imagine all the things that happened to you there. Alright, how do I use this thing? I look over and see Leo fumbling with the camera, obviously worried that he was going to break it. I walk over and show him how to use it, checking the white balance and exposure myself. I wasn't too good with cameras, but the equipment manager at the university gave me a quick lesson on how to do things. Alright, so I want you to zoom out from Echo slowly, and while you do that, I'm going to walk in frame, okay? Yeah, okay. Leo hoists the camera up and looks through the viewfinder, ears perked up and smiling. Alright, signal me when you're ready. I adjust the clip-on mic and while Leo focuses the camera, then he raises a paw, signaling that I should start. I walk into the frame, keeping one paw in my pocket and using the other one to gesture. I hope I don't look too awkward. I always feel like I do. Echo first began as a settlement in 1852, after James Hendricks discovered gold in a quartz deposit. The town grew quickly in size, and once it began to serve as a junction along the Prescott Railway. It reached the peak population of 6,500 in 1877. Jesus Christ, I can't read today. It was at this point in time in particular that a phenomenon of mass hysteria took over. Many say the reason it occurred was due to the discovery of a body within the gold mines and circumstances surrounding that discovery. While not much is known about the event, what is known is that it ended a large portion of the population of the wait, what? What is known is that once it ended, a large population of Echo left. Most of those who left settled in nearby town of Peyton. However, the town still managed to prosper well even into the 40s. That's when the government stepped in to shut down the mine, as it became federal law to divert all mining resources to the war effort. The town's population sharply declined shortly thereafter, and by the 1950s, it had dwindled to approximately 2,000 people. A shutdown of the Prescott Railway in the 1960s, followed by the bypassing of Route 93 by I-40 in 1986, was the final nail in the coffin for the town. You know what, Gallows, fuck off. I read for a living. I am tired. Cut me some slack. By the 90s, the population had dwindled to just about 150 people. My goal, however, is to investigate the first event which led to this town's decline and possible demise. What happened in that mine almost 150 years ago? I've come to Echo to try to find out what information, if any, can be gleaned from the events of the past. I wait for a few seconds, then look back at Leo. That good? Yeah. Don't know how to stop this, though. Here. I walk over and take the heavy camera off Leo's paws. That was pretty good. You want to be a reporter? Mm-hmm. Maybe. I'd rather just write than be on camera, though. Yo, Chase! Leo and I looked towards the car, greeted by the sight of a bright white ram's ass hanging out of the back window of Leo's van. I didn't really react. I mean, despite being self-conscious about his weight, Carl was pretty shameless about stuff like this. I'd probably seen his naked butt more often times than I'd seen Leo's. And that was saying something. Make sure you get a shot of my... Hey! At that moment, Flynn, who's sitting next to Carl in the back, reaches around and yanks the ram's pants down so that they hang around his knees. Even though Carl's pretty quick to pull them back up, I still get a pretty good view of his equally big white balls dangling between his legs. Leo snorts and I can see Flynn laughing his ass off, while Carl punches him in the shoulder. Unfortunately for TJ, who's sitting in the middle row with Jenna, he was looking back at the time and probably got a much better view than I did. Now he's facing forward, covering his face while Jenna sits next to him, reading a book, looking uninterested. Nearly 21, and he's still doing that, huh? Yeah, a little more than awkward without you three around, though. Head back to the car, and I grabbed the camera bag from the passenger seat and put the camera away. Hey, did you see my ass? Saw more than that. Your thing about the horrors of Echo, right? Your thing's about the horrors of Echo, right? It'll be the perfect fit. Well, if it could even fit it on the camera. I stashed the camera bag in the footwell before hopping in. Southwest Adventures is an amusement park right in the middle of Peyton. It's decent enough that people come here not just from Peyton, but cities up to 100 miles away to vacation here. Because of this, it's usually crowded. Today is no exception. Families and their kids are everywhere. It's a generally nice day, sunny, in the 80s, and it being a Sunday added to the crowd. I didn't mind, though. The point of this is to hang out with my friends. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. Let's get some funnel cakes. Jesus, Carl, we just got here. Hey, I didn't have any breakfast. You had breakfast, all right. A blunt with a side of the munchies. It's no problem. You can do that while I plan out what we're doing. Carl ambles off on his way to the funnel cake stand. You know, fun fact, I've never had a funnel cake. I snagged one of the park maps from the entrance, and I hand that to Leo. Alright, so Usually, when my family comes here, we go clockwise to hit all the rides. That sounds like a plan. It's pretty crowded today, so we probably won't be able to do anything. But in this order, we'll at least be able to ride the Event Horizon. You sure? The line is always long for that ride. TJ looks up towards the tall, spiraling electric red steel roller coaster. It's definitely the most recognizable landmark of the park. You could see it from almost anywhere in Peyton. Yep, fastest and tallest roller coaster in the West. I think it'll be worth it. Oh. TJ rubs his arm with one paw, the corner of his muzzle twitching a little bit. I'd forgotten about that. He used to have a pretty pronounced motor tic where the corner of his mouth would twitch up over and over again. It used to be a constant thing, but it stopped once we entered middle school. Guess it hasn't completely gone away. You alright, TJ? We could skip the big rides if you... Oh, hell. TJ, you're a fucking adult now. No, it's fine. I'm fine. I just haven't been on a roller coaster in a while. TJ snaps his head back towards us. He's all tensed up, and movements look like rubber bands being snapped. I'm riding all the rides with you guys. TJ walks off, his paws shoved deep in his pockets. I feel bad for him. I want to give him an out somehow. But that's when Carl comes back with his funnel cake. It's topped with ice cream, powdered sugar, and strawberries. Anyone want to share? Yeah, that looks really good. No? Alright. Guess I'll have to eat the whole thing. Great, now we gotta wait for Fat Ass to finish eating. Carl pulls his face out of the cake. Even with his white fur, I can see the powdered sugar clinging to his chin. Nah, I can eat in line. We're going on Event Horizon first. That'll be an hour-long wait at least. The line ends up being 2 hours long by the time we get to the actual ride. I'm dying to get down to a pool of any kind. To put it bluntly, an otter needs water. Part of the problem of living in Echo meant that we didn't have any kind of indoor pool system in our house. But as cheap as it was... Oh, being as cheap as it was. We ended up having to get an outdoor swimming pool, which was a pain. Nervous, Chase? I smirk at him. I've ridden it before, Leo. Though, your tail's kind of down. Sure you're not nervous? Come on, Leo. Let's ride the front. Oh, I don't know. I watch as Jenna pulls Leo towards the line for the front, which is twice as long as all the others. I opt for the middle just to see what happens, and I opt for the middle, and it just so happens that TJ comes with me. His tufted ears have been poking straight up the entire time, muzzle giving an occasional twitch. I lean over to him. You know there's an exit over there for people who, change their mind. I'll bet you could slip out with anyone noticing. Looks like not all of us are even going to be riding the same train. TJ stares ahead, clutching onto the railing. I can see his sharp claws unsheathed, pressing into the metal and chipping away some of the red paint. No, I'm fine. You sure? Yep, perfectly fine. Well, we're in the middle, which is the best place to be if you don't like roller coasters. Uh-huh. Yeah. I really wanted to be able to get TJ to skip the ride, but he seems pretty determined to do it for some reason. Finally, our train comes along, and I step in as two laughing and panting hyenas step out. Oh my god, that was the most intense? Holy shit, dude, I know. I never get scared on ride, and I almost fucking pissed myself. I do a quick check of the seat to make sure there isn't any actual piss before sitting down. I look up and see TJ standing at the edge of the platform, his eyes wide, one foot stuck out to get on. TJ. A bored-looking teenage fox comes by to check the lap bar, and I stick out my paw. Hey, wait, TJ, you getting on? The fox goes from looking bored to mildly annoyed. If you're getting on, then you need to get in now. We can't hold up the entire ride for you, sir. The exit's that way where the other adventurers await. People around us are starting to notice. Unfortunately, Flynn, who's lined up with Carl towards the back, is paying pretty close attention, grinning like he knew this was gonna happen. Aw, TJ too scared. Guess you're a pussy after all. Shut up, Flynn. Hey, TJ, when it gets real bad, just say to yourself, at least I'm not gonna die. Actually, a few people have. TJ! I yell up at him, and that seems to jar TJ out of his trance. He almost falls on the car as he stumbles into it, fumbling with the shoulder restraints before the Fox attendant sighs and leans down to do it for him. I can see the red on the insides of TJ's ears as he blushes. I feel like my own ears burn a little from secondhand embarrassment. Now that it's too late, I realize that we shouldn't have started with this ride. We should have started with something smaller to build up his confidence. I'm jolted back as the train moves forward. Oh gosh. TJ's paw lashes out and latches onto my arm. Oh no, oh no, why am I doing this? I reach over and try to move his paw from my arm and back onto the handle. Oh, and back onto the handle on his shoulder restraints. TJ, hold on to that. My arm. You're gonna... Chase, quiet. I pause, staring at the lynx. I'm not used to hearing TJ yell. He's almost puffed out to twice his size. I just need some quiet right now. And... Ah! Our train begins the ascent up the first hill, and I can feel TJ's claws prickling through my fur into the skin. He starts mumbling quietly to himself, his eyes closed. TJ, are you praying? He doesn't say anything, and soon we reach the apex of the climb. I give up on trying to move his paw and sit back, a little nervous myself. I really hope TJ doesn't completely lose it. I rinsed the blood off my arm in a dirty theme park bathroom. It wasn't as bad as I thought it could have. Oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been, though TJ did start crying when we hit the first inversion. He had scratched the shit out of my forearms, grabbing it with both paws once we started the descent. Unfortunately, Flynn and Carl were on the platforms when we rolled back onto the boarding station. Flynn looked ready to lay into TJ again, but he saw the tears and had the decency to hold back. I helped the shaking lynx out of the car, and somehow we managed to stumble into the bathroom, where he quickly hid in a stall. I should have forced him out at the exit. He'd always had anxiety problems, though I think we all believed it was a childhood thing that he'd gotten over. I don't know if he still takes medication. Hey, TJ. Yeah? We should probably get back to everyone. Leo texted me that they're all waiting by the ride. Yeah, I'll be out in a second. The cheerfulness in his voice is forced. I ignore the weird looks I'm getting from the other people in the bathroom and instead inspect my arm. The scratches are pretty superficial, so the bleeding has stopped. No one would notice it under the thick fur, even if it's tender as hell. I hear the stall door open behind me, and through the mirror I see TJ come out. He seems to be looking over at my arm, and his face crumples again. Chase, I'm sorry. Is it bad? Oh, no. Why did I hit quit? I really don't want to see him start crying again. TJ cried a lot when he was a kid, almost every day, even at 19. It seems like he's still pretty susceptible. It's fine. It doesn't even hurt. Well, that's good. We stand there awkwardly for a few seconds. Then I air out my shirt, which is starting to stick to my sweaty body. Listen, it's honestly getting way too hot in here for me. It's honestly getting way too hot for me to wait in lines all day. I think I'd rather just sit down and watch some shows or something. Oh yeah? Yeah, you want to do that with me? TJ's ears come up a little and he clutches his paw together. The fidgeting subsided a bit. Yeah, Chase. I think that'll be fun. I can tell he's at least a little relieved. We both head out back towards the ride, and I spot the four of them waiting by the exit. I furrow my brows. I spot Carl crouched on the ground. Jenna kneeling next to him, rubbing his back. Hey, everything alright? Jenna looks back up, a sympathetic smile on her face. Carl's not feeling too good. Uh, you want to sit on the bench or something? If I move, I'm gonna. That's what you get for stuffing your face right before the ride. You think they sell ginger pills here? Or ginger ale at least? A joint would be nice. There are some vendors over there. I'll go check. I'm actually kind of glad everyone's preoccupied with Carl right now. Take some of the heat off TJ. Let's move you to the bench. It'll be better if you're sitting down. Slowly, Jenna and Leo lift Carl up, and now I can see from his face that he really is ill. To the average person, our little outing might already seem like a disaster, but this is perfectly typical for us. Oh, yeah. Six Flags was fun. That's why this is a little relatable for me, if remembering that trip. Nothing ever went according to plan. We sit Carl down on the bench and he bends over, his face in his hands as he moans softly. Oh. TJ comes back with a medium-sized cup in his paw, and he sits next to Carl. No ginger ale, but they did have some lime soda. Carl takes it and sips it a bit before sitting back and belching. Oh, fuck it. I'm done, guys. What? What are you gonna do all day? Sit here? Actually, me and Chase are gonna go see some shows. You can come with us. Ugh. Guys, we're doing this to hang out with each other, remember? Ah, leave him. We're wasting time. Flynn turns and walks off, his hands shoved in his pocket, hunched like a stone gargoyle. He's definitely looked the part, being a lizard. Damn, that was probably a bit speciest. Well, we all have our phones. Text us, alright? Sure. Jenna turns and follows Flynn, but Leo hesitates a moment. He looks at me before eventually turning to follow Flynn and Jenna. 5 minutes later, Carl's stomach settles to the point where he's able to get up and walk. At this point, I'm completely wiped out, and I just want to sit down. I point to the first stage and we see, and they agree. I sigh gratefully when I sit down. You look tired as shit. I crack my eye open to see Carl giving me a sidelong glance. I don't sleep very well in motel beds. I actually woke up around 2. You were gone. Now TJ's looking at me too, and I feel my gut clench for a second. Yeah, I tried to go for a walk down the street. Hoped it would help me get tired. Well, if it happens again, you can just walk over to my house. I'm up until like 3 every night. Wow, why? Carl shrugs, leaning back and sticking his hoods up against the chair in front of him, earning a dirty glance from its occupier. Games mostly. Sometimes I read. Carl rubs his chin, opening his muzzle and closing it, then opening it again. You know, it would be pretty cool if you spent the night one of these days. The house can be creepy as hell when you're the only one in it. You're alone? Yeah. Parents are vacationing in Regal Paradise. Having a bloody good time, they tell me. Carl tries to put on an accent, but he doesn't do a very good job of it. Oh, did you want to go with them? Carl blows a raspberry, laughing. Not really. Mom told me right away that weed isn't legal there either, so I took that as them not wanting me to come along. Oh. They did say that the chocolate there is real, whatever that means. They said they'd bring me some. Guess I'm not enough of a fat ass yet. Come on, Carl. But dude, I'm getting there. Soon I'll have to do a stand in front of the mirror, block out my face, and jerk it to my moobs. Oh my god, this man is... Jesus Christ. I make a dumb snorting, croaking sound, and I can feel TJ looking at the two of us disapprovingly. Not the hardest thing to do when you're high. Wait, so you've actually done it before? Carl shrugs, smirking at me. I reach out and grab his chest. From what I can tell, there's a pretty firm set of pecs under there. Carl puts on a mock, horrified look on his face. Sexual assault! You touched my breast! Oh, whatever, Carl. They're harder than mine. So now we're teenage girls in the locker room comparing racks, huh? Hey, you're the one that brought up tits. You know what? I can see it. Yeah. You're the hot preppy one that everyone likes. I'm the big fat chick you're all nice to, but call Big Thunder Mountain behind her back. And TJ hadn't been paying attention. Distracted with watching some dancers come on the stage, he looks innocently at us. Huh? You're the cute, naive Christian chick that only takes it up the butt so as to stay a virgin. Okay, hold on. I gotta reread that one. You're the cute, naive Christian chick that only takes it up the butt so as to stay a virgin. What? Let me feel your boobies. I want to compare. What in the world are you No! Small, but perky. After a few seconds of tussling and Carl getting smacked in the nose by TJ, someone shushes us from behind and we're forced into silence. The show starts off with a bunch of mice having a weird sort of hoedown. TJ's really into it and actually starts clapping along. I smile. TJ could definitely be kind of cute sometimes. Carl's just rubbing his nose and leans back, watching with a smirk, as if the whole thing's a joke to him. At this point, my eyelids were feeling really heavy. At most, I'd gotten like maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. I think about leaning my head back, but the backs of the seats are pretty low, and I just end up my head hanging over the back. Leaning forward would be just impossible. I could lean on one of my friends. I don't think they'd mind. Obviously, we're going to lean on Carl. He's soft. Carl's definitely the better choice. Bigger and probably softer. He'd make a nice pillow. Carl, I'm going to use you as my bed. Huh? I put my head on his shoulder and closed my eyes, feeling his soft, puffy, sleeveless hoodie and his bulk under my cheek. Weirdly enough, he was pretty damn sturdy. I had expected him to feel like a pillow puff. Damn, Chase. You that tired? Well, alright then. I feel him shift and suddenly he's putting an arm across the back of the bench, giving me more support. The gesture makes me feel a little warm, and I can feel TJ's eyes on us, but I ignore him, enjoying the position of intimacy. The sounds from the clapping and fiddles start to drift away, and as the lack of sleep takes its toll. I feel along the rough edges of rock and dirt. The only thing I can hear is the shower of debris. I'm knocking to the ground. The air is stale, and I have a vague feeling that I'm suffocating. I keep going. I'm gonna reach the end eventually. Just have to keep moving. I can tell that I'm going down, deeper and deeper. The space around me is growing smaller and smaller, and soon I'm hunching my head so that it doesn't scrape the ceiling. Is he going into the mine? I can hear footsteps, not quite in the synchrony with my own. They aren't any kind of footsteps I've heard before, though. I stop and listen. There's definitely the sound of feet, but not like they're walking. It's like they're stamping down on the ground, making as much noise as possible. This is accompanied by a slapping sound, as if someone is smacking their paws on the ground as well. I imagine a canine toddler, still insisting on walking on all fours while throwing a tantrum. It's heavier though, like an adult is doing it. That image makes the nape of my neck prickle, but I'm not scared. It's long after I've stopped that the noises stop as well. Just 10 feet behind me, I turn, watching the darkness. I knew you'd come back. They'd always do. My voice sounds clogged, muted, like the rocky walls are just sucking up the sound instead of bouncing them down the tunnel. The stamping starts up again, loudly coming towards me at full speed. Now I can hear sobbing, sniffling, and a strange guttural grunting. It's just feet away. You're only moving in circles. It veers away just as the words leave my mouth, going back the way it came. I stand there a while, listening, until I can't hear it anymore. I turn and continue on, feeling the walls again as I make my way lower and lower. The smell hits me, right as my paws hit it, slick and slippery. Blood coated the walls, my paws run along like thick oil. Blood coats the walls, my paws run along like thick oil. It's warm and fresh. Now I know I'm getting close. A voice abruptly echoes at the end of the tunnel. It's not that far away at all. I knew you'd come back. They always do. I make my way closer and closer now. Fear pricks my heart. They always do. I hear the muffled screams now, as if someone is yelling with their mouth closed. Now the fur is standing up all over my body, but my feet won't stop. I keep going. I'm getting closer and closer. You're only moving in circles. I'm here. It's right here in front of me. Now I'm reaching out to it. Reaching out to touch it. I can't stop. I can't stop. I jump and my head jerks up and my eyes snap open again. Looking around wildly, it's like I just came up from being underwater too long. Shit. Whoa. TJ and Carl both jump shortly after I do. I look back and forth as they stare wide-eyed back at me. It takes me a second to realize I'm still at Southwest Adventure, at the stage, watching shows. Jesus fuck, dude. You alright? Carl. I lean forward to rub my face and my paws, trying to stop shaking. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just a really bad dream. I feel a small paw on my back as TJ rubs it. What about? I'm not really sure. Just a really dark place, and some things were in there. Huh? That does sound pretty creepy. What kind of things? I think for a minute. There were weird crawling things. The screaming things. I pull my head up, looking towards the stage, which is empty right now. It doesn't matter. It was just a dream. Hey, what happened to the show? Carl chuckles next to me, leaning back again. You missed him, dude. We've seen like 3 shows. Yeah. They even had a segment with otters doing water tricks. We thought about waking you up for it, but you were in a really deep sleep. That's too bad. I always love seeing my people laughed at for the swimming clowns that we are. How long has it been? Carl checks his phone, which he already has out. Been about 3 hours. You could probably get some lunch now. Damn, I've been out for a while. I'm surprised I hadn't woken up a few times, considering the uncomfortable position I'd been in. I guess you feel better then? Yeah, been feeling better for the past 2 hours. Now I'm hungry. It's already 2 p.m. I've composed myself for the most part, so I take out my phone and text Leo. We're kinda hungry. We should meet back up. He gets back to me pretty quick. Okay, mostly done with rides anyway. Oh my god, this man fucking sucks. He texts the way I do. Oh no. Meet at the food court. I meet at Flynn's table. We meet Flynn at a table in the food court where he's already bought some pizza. Carl immediately sits down and pries open the box, taking out a few slices. Of course. You guys have fun? It was alright. Watched a few shows about our state species history. Chase took a nap. Flynn eyes TJ, who doesn't say anything as he sits to take out his own slice of pizza, but more daintily than Carl had. Feeling better, Teach? Yeah, I'm fine. TJ nibbles on his slice of cheese pizza. Yeah, well, the pizza here is a hell of a lot scarier than any other ride, so you're braver than I am. Where's Leo and Jenna? Flynn rolls his eyes and nods towards the row of carnival games to the right of the food court. Fighting. They've been playing those games for fucking half an hour already. I'm not surprised. I grab my own slice of pizza and a napkin and make my way over there. Keeping up with the theme of the Old West, the carnival section of the park is decked out with fake saloons and brothels. I spot them quickly. Leo's holding a pink unicorn, and Jen is carrying a green dragon. They seem to be in pretty good spirits, though. Leo's grin is a little tight. Looks like a pretty successful haul, you guys. Hey, Chase. Jen is grinning, looking a little smug as well. You guys finished? We're eating now. Leo shifts the giant unicorn around. Yeah, we're pretty much done, I think. Damn, Leo. You must have won something pretty hard to get that. Yeah, that was me. I look over and see the green dragon that Jenna's holding. What about that? Yeah, I won this too. Oh, well, I'm sure you won a couple. Actually, yeah, I've beaten him at every game. Yeah, well, you're visiting. I want your memories of this vacation to be good. Obviously, it's getting to your head, though. Oh, please. Chase, you should have seen his face. Sour grapes the whole time. Oh, really? I usually stay out of stuff like this. Leo always got a little carried away when it came to competition. Fuck you in particular, Jasmine. Especially when I was around. But it's kind of funny seeing him act like this. Let's go eat. Wait, there's a high striker. Why don't we show Chase who's stronger, huh? Leo contemplates for a second, but seems pretty confident about this one. He's literally twice the size of Jenna. I don't know if that's very fair to you, Jenna. I mean, he lets that sit, and honestly, I have to agree. Jenna, though, gets a little fox gleam in her eyes that I knew meant she knew something we didn't. Afraid I'm gonna woo your ex? Oh? Wow, Jenna's going all out. My muzzle flushes under my fur, but that only seems to decide things for Leo. A confident smile replaces the sheepish one from before. Oh yeah? He flexes his shoulders and sticks out the stuffed unicorn to me. I stuff the last of the crust in my mouth and reach out to take it. Jenna does the same, and now I'm hugging two massive stuffed animals to my side, tripling my girth. Alright, let's do this. Step right up, test your strength, $3, 3 tries, ring the bell, win a prize. I'd like to try. Ah, we have a taker. Big, strong wolf like you would have no problem at all. $3, please. Leo hands over the money and the carny hands him a mallet. Leo points it at me with a grin. This one's for you, Chula. My heart skips a beat. He hasn't called me that in a while. But I decide to play along. Don't disappoint me, Leo. I really want that stuffed griffin. I point to the griffin on the carny's long shelf of toys. Sure thing. Leo spreads his leg and squares his shoulder before raising the hammer and bringing it down hard onto the rubber-looking pad. It's a pretty hard hit, but the chaser only raises up to the 40 mark. Ooh, almost, Sir Wolf. Try again. Leo's brows furrow, and I'm not sure this is a good idea. He raises the mallet again and grunts as he brings it down even harder, causing the contraption to shake a little. This time, the chaser shoots up to the 70 mark. Even better! This time, put your back into it! I can hear Leo growling a little bit as he raises the mallet for the final time and brings it down with a snarl, all of the muscles in his arms standing out. I'm pretty sure I feel the ground shake this time. The impact causes more than a few heads to turn. This time, it only goes up to the 60 mark. Leo gapes at the game. So close! $3 more will get you three more tries. Would you like to try again? Nope, my turn. Jenna already had her money ready and hands it to the carny. Oh, a little battle between the sexes, eh? Well, step right up, my fair fox maiden. How will you fare against the big bad wolf? Leo reluctantly hands the mallet to Jenna. Alright, beat 70. Jenna points the mallet at me, winking. Don't worry, Chase. I'll get that griffin for you. Leo snorts loudly, folding his arms and looking pretty annoyed. Good luck. I was hitting that thing as hard. Before I can finish the sentence, Jenna raises the mallet into the air and puts it into a graceful swing. It's as if she were chopping wood as she brings it down onto the hard rubber pad. It lands precisely, clean, and in sharp contrast to Leo's sloppy hits. I stare, and Leo stares at the... I stare, Leo stares, the carny stares. Jenna simply raises her paws in the air. Yay! A few onlookers around us laugh and cheer. Oh my! The fair fox has won! Come over and pick your prize! He glances at Leo. Sorry, buddy. The feline shoots a sympathetic but also amused smile at Leo before turning on to the onlookers. See that? A female fox half the size of this male wolf has rung the bell. Could one of you be next? Leo looks mortified, but he quickly changes his expression to a sheepish grin. He doesn't seem to want to look at me. Good job, Jenna. Jenna bounds back to us, carrying the big stuffed griffin. Give those ones to Leo, so I can give you this. I hand off the stuffed toys to Leo, who grumbles a bit as he takes them. Damn thing's rigged. Jenna hands me the griffin. Thanks, Jenna. That was really... She leans over and pecks me on the cheek. Oh, this girl is trying it. Hold up. I see Leo's eyes widen as she does. His ears are standing straight up. Aw, it was nothing. Leo stands there for a few more seconds, working his jaw. Awesome. He turns away and leaves, his arms still wrapped around the giant stuffed toys. Jenna starts laughing. Jenna! Oh, hush. He'll get over it. He's just so damn fun to tease. I have to agree, but when I'm being used to do the teasing, he's really sensitive about the whole thing. You guys talked it over, didn't you? Anyway, aren't you gay? I take a deep breath. Yeah. See? He's got nothing to worry about. I'm not in the mood to go in depth about my sexuality. Saying anything else confuses people. I sigh and rub my eyes with a paw, still a little tired. Hey, don't tell Leo that I work at the state fair every year. Wasn't planning on it. The rest of the day is pretty relaxing. We ride a few of the more mellow rides. Leo seems to cheer up a bit when I volunteer to sit next to him on the Ferris wheel. TJ even built up the courage to the point where he rode the swinging ship. Flynn and Carl rode the slingshot ride together, and with the video feed from the ground, I think it's the first time I've ever seen Flynn scared. Carl didn't end up barfing after that one. By about 6 p.m., everyone's tired enough that we agree to head back. I'm still exhausted, so I sleep for half an hour. I sleep for the half hour it takes back to the motel. When we do get back, I notice how good the sun looks right now. With a sigh, I remind myself that I'm actually here getting a project done, not to just play around. So as everyone sits in the motel, I let them know I'm about to shoot some B-roll, gathering up my equipment and heading outside into the heat. Dragging it outside, I set it up, sweating even under the evening light. Even though this late in the day the heat was pissing me off, for some reason it's a lot cooler in Pueblo. My mind drifts back to the many days of summer under the blazing sun, the temperature rarely dipping below 100. I'm amazed poor TJ never had a heat stroke. I put my eyes in the viewfinder. I'm a bit disappointed at how the town looks. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed with how broken down the town looks even with the amazing backdrop. What a dump. I'll say. It's then that I hear footsteps talking behind me. I pause my recording and turn around. How's the filming? It's alright. Kinda run out of sun, but it's okay. Echo looks like crap no matter what kind of light you shoot it in. Do you need us to keep quiet? Nah, I'm just shooting B-roll. I was about to come back in. Let's stay here for a minute. Carr and Flynn are getting a little loud. Besides, I want to talk to you two. He wraps his arm around Jenna and reaches the other one to pull me in so that we're both flanking him. I feel my shoulder press into the warm bulk of his side and chest. He'd always been taller than me. My ears barely come up to his chin, but now it seemed like he was almost twice as wide. He definitely put on more muscle since I last saw him. While he was always pretty muscular, he'd been more on the lean side. Now his chest and biceps pulled his shirt tight. It felt nice though, like something very sturdy wrapped in velvet. I suppose it was a mixture of adding both muscle and fat. I'm at least happy to see he's gotten over his little defeat to Jenna. Look at us, the OG crew. Leo's strong voice vibrates from his body into mine. The effect is tranquilizing, and I feel myself relax. Together again. The only thing I miss about this town. Leo is referring to the fact that he, Jenna, and I were the original three in our group of 6 to become friends. Later, we would add TJ, then Carl, and finally Flynn, and Sydney. Leo had really been the one to unite us all. Oh, hydrate. I remember when you first got here. Everyone was afraid of you. I remember when I first got here, I found a bunch of gringos who wouldn't even talk to each other. Oh, he's Mexican! Let's go! I love him. Gallows, he is mine. I get the little Mexican lobito. We all went to the same school in Peyton and had our different friends. When Leo moved in, he thought it was strange that the kids at Echo didn't hang out together. As soon as I entered middle school and high school, I cycled through a ton of different friends, but the ones in Echo always stayed the same. Remember when we'd always have sleepovers at Chase's place? Of course, I'd kick your ass at Claws of Fury all the time. I remember I used to think you guys were only friends with me for my video games. Many times I'd fallen asleep to the flickering of the old CRT television set, watching the outlines of Jenna and Leo twist side to side as they played. I'd wake up hours later, only to find them still playing. It was weird. Jenna and Leo got along really well, but there's a bit of a competitive streak between the two. Actually, it's one of the few things that gets Leo genuinely angry. I think he even broke one of my controllers once. How long was it since we first met? Well, when did you move in? I think it was in 2000. So take 2015 and subtract 2000. What does that leave you with, Leo? Leo looks sideways at me and smirks. There's a flash of white canine as it appears from under his lip for a moment. You think you're yourself a real hotshot now that you're in college, huh? I smirk back because, though I know my canines aren't as impressive. Pretty much, yeah. Well, you'll always be those little brats to me. I feel Leo's waggling tail swat me in the butt. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Speaking of which, are you two getting along over there? Jenna looks at me around Leo's broad chest. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, we haven't had many chances to hang out. Why not? Well, it's college. Also, it's a pretty large university. I don't even think we've ever seen each other in passing. Yeah, things are different. But Jenna, we should do something together soon, before you graduate. Definitely. Leo still looks a little disappointed that me and Jenna aren't keeping up at university, but I don't know why. She had her friends, I had mine, and we did talk sometimes. Jenna nudges Leo, causing us all to sway. And speaking of that, when are you going back to Mesa? Wait, huh? Are they actually using real towns? Holy shit. Mesa is the community college. Oh, okay, cool. Because I was going to say, I know Mesa's like a real town. I think it's in Arizona or New Mexico, right? Jess? Leo went there for a few semesters before taking a break. And by break, I mean he quit. Well, see. We'll see. I have to talk to my parents. It's just starting to get really busy. Hello? Stream? What's going on? Jazz, do you want to, if Echo turns out to be a real haunted town, do you want to make a drive over there? It's just starting to get really busy. Why don't they hire more people, you know? You would have graduated by now. You would have had your master's by now. Leo sighs. It's about committing to the family business, not the help he needs. Jenna rolls her eyes, blowing out some air and ruffling a tuft of fur on her head. Wolves and their families. You should try thinking and speaking for yourself sometimes. Oh my god, he's a typical Mexican family. Jesus Christ. If I hadn't done that, I'd still be stuck in that crank house. Jenna flicks her head vaguely in the direction of where she used to live. Jenna is the only one aside from Carl who has a family still living in Echo. I wonder if she's going to visit them, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to that. I see Leo tighten his arm around her shoulder, but she goes on without missing a beat. And you can start with our otter here. I look up, caught unawares. Huh? What? Jenna. I'm serious. Jenna puts her paw to Leo's face, cutting him off. I'm not going to spend this entire week with you asking me when or how you should do it. Let's rip the band-aid now. Chase? Jenna. There's a warning tone in Leo's voice as he pins back his ears, dropping his arms from her shoulder. I already know what's happening. It's been a long time coming. I take a step back and fold my arms, looking to the side. Chase, Leo has something to say to you. And yes, it's about that. Now I'm going to head back in and make sure Carl didn't light up in the bathroom. Jenna. His tone changes to exasperation as Jenna turns on her heels and leaves. Judging by the curl in her tail, I can tell she's pretty satisfied with what she's just done. I return my attention to the road. I couldn't really bring myself to look at him right now. We both stand there for a minute, 3 feet apart. I hear Leo scuff the ground with his foot, then sniff the dust that rises from the ground. I hear him drawn a few breaths at a time, as if he's going to say something, but ends up blowing it out with a sigh. We were never good at this. Probably why it ended up failing like it did. Leo. I'm sorry, Chase. For what? Not talking to you about this when I should have. Talking to Jenna about it when I should have been talking to you. He reaches out and sits upon my shoulder. The silver anchor on his wrist glistens just a bit in the fading light. He's smiling at me, but I grit my teeth. Why are you still wearing that? His eyes flick from the bracelet, then back to my face, expression turning defensive. Why aren't you still wearing yours? Don't you remember what we said? I sigh, looking down at the scattering of clouds behind Leo's heads. They're tinged soft pink from the fading sun. The sunset is almost the same color as Leo's fur. Leo, we were teenagers. That's not an answer. He cuts me off and I look back at him. I told you they weren't love bracelets. They weren't just about our relationship. They were about everything. Our friends, family, memories, Echo. I raise my voice above his, cutting him off this time. They were about Echo, Leo. We stand there for a while, and Leo's looking closely at me, expectantly. His ears tips forward. His eyes pierce me like amber shards. It's always hard to look at him in the eyes during our arguments. What? Do I have to say it? Alright, fine. I fucking hate this place. Everything about it. It's the most miserable goddamn place I've ever been. How many places have you been? Enough to know that it's miserable. Most everyone here is old, obese, on welfare. Half of them are probably on meth. Jesus Christ, it sounds like my hometown. Leo pulls in a deep breath and blows it over my head. I can smell the bell peppers on his breath. No one likes it here, Chase. I mean, it was an anchor. I'm half laughing. Just looking at it made me feel like I was still tied to this town. I didn't need it reminding me of all that awful stuff. I know it was supposed to symbolize our being each other's rocks or whatever, but it stands for a lot more than that. A lot of good things happened here too. No one should forget where they came from. Sometimes I wish I could. At this point, Leo deflated a bit, going into a slouch. His ears lowered. Wait, you said was. You didn't get rid... No. I still have it. It's just in a drawer in my dorm room. Honestly, if it was anything else, like one of those infinity bracelets we saw, I wouldn't have trouble wearing it. Well, fuck. Why didn't you say anything when we were buying them? I didn't know it was going to be a problem. Leo takes a deep breath again before blowing it out, puffing out his cheeks this time. Puchica, Hunter. He puts his paw to his eyes and holds it there for a few seconds. It's a pose I'm pretty familiar with. I think it was supposed to be Puchica. Like that. Sorry, reading Spanish is actually really hard for me because I always mess up the accent. Even though I hadn't seen it in a few years, I'm hit with a wave of memories. Mostly of me frustrating or embarrassing Leo somehow. We decided on the anchors mostly because they looked pretty. Leo had referenced some old wolf metaphor about roots and how we're always drawn back to them. Also, some bullshit about how otters were great sailors. But really, it was just the aesthetic. For some reason over the years, I began to associate the anchor being stuck in Echo. It was when I started to connect the anchor to Sydney that I'd taken it off. It was too much. Anyway, it brings me back to the present, and I focus back on him. What I was trying to say is, I'm still not okay with how you left. Leo, I said I was sorry, and I still am. Or how you stopped talking to me for a while. Okay, I was a kid. I thought I had a good tactic. Like Jenna said, rip the band-aid off, you know? We did start talking again. It was more like you punching me in the gut than kicking me in the balls. The problem was that you didn't even give me a chance to say anything, or at least tell me why before you broke it off. I stayed silent for a while, and finally looking up, settling my jaw. Like I said, I was young and dumb. I didn't know how to handle it. I can keep apologizing, or we can move on and make the most of this. I only have 1 week, and I want to have fun. Leo looks to the side, paws on his hips as if contemplating, then looks back at me with a smile. Alright, fine. But don't think you're off the hook. I still want to talk soon. Soon. Just not right now. I stand there awkwardly for a few moments. Then, because it feels appropriate, I step in to give him a hug. He takes it willingly. He's warm and strong. For a moment, I wonder why the hell I dumped a guy like this. Just then, someone lays on the Someone lays on the horn as they drive past us, pulling me out of my reverie. Oh, I just realized I should probably not say that. Good thing I stopped where I did. I lean back so I can watch the car speed down the empty road. Leo keeps holding me though, and then chuckles, just chuckles. Echo hasn't changed much, has it? No, it hasn't. I think that is a definite good stopping point for right now. I'm liking the story. Little too relatable. Little too relatable. Am I right, Jasmine? Kind of reminds me of our hometown. Kind of reminds me of how our friends are. Kind of reminds me how I should probably call my best friend and see if she wants to go grab lunch. Anyway, sorry guys. I was about to start crying during that scene. It's definitely good. I plan to keep this up. And honestly, I'm wondering what happened to Sydney. I guess we'll find out, right? Well, I'm glad that you think they sound different. Not everyone does. But, you know, it just feels weird because I thought the same thing about my hometown for the longest time. Felt like I was gonna die in that town. Hell, I'm only an hour away and I still feel that way. Maybe that's why I want to go on an adventure and see the world. But I guess we'll have to save that for next year, right? And I should go definitely drag my sister along because I'm sure she feels the same thing. We can go meet all sorts of cute guys along the way and explore some haunted towns. We'll go explore some ghost towns. Right, Jazz? Anyway, that's where I'm going to call it for the night. Yeah, I know the feeling, Jazz. I really do. It's nice to go back every once in a while, but staying there too long, you feel suffocated. You feel like you're never going to leave. You feel like you're just going to be stuck there forever, right? Anyway, we'll end it there before I start getting too sentimental and crying, because I'm already starting to tear up in my eyes. Let's see if she catches something right at the end of the stream. Maybe now she'll have some good luck. Also, really glad really glad that I realized what the word was before I read that whole word off. Let's just say I will say, I genuinely like the writing of this game. It feels realistic. It feels very real and like what best friends would say and what people who have been in these situations would say. I still think out of them, Kai is probably my least favorite, next to the lizard, because the lizard's kind of an asshole. Flynn can, but you always need that mean lesbian of the group, right? I personally, personally, um, like the our little fox maiden. Um, I wonder why he said that his sexuality was confusing, and I'm kind of thinking he's got like a throuple thing going with Leo and with Jess. But I guess we'll see. I do genuinely feel bad for Leo though, because man, he was just left in the dust, and I know how that feels. Our poor little Lobo. Either way, catch you guys later. I will see you, and remember to listen for the echoes. Take care. Ta ta.